Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks, comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms, and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Listen, folks. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be sitting down, having a live radio show, talking about the New York Jets, talking about roster stuff, all that, everything that's going on surrounding the football team. So call in. I take live callers. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. So with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets wide receiver position. Yes, it's time to talk. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be discussing wide receivers here, right? And we're also going to be talking about possible cuts from the wide receiver position as well. There's some guys that could be getting up out of here. You know what I mean? Guys that, we thought we could get more out of, but it is what it is. So first, I'm going to start with Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, to me, is the New York Jets' best wide receiver at this point. Unbelievable what he was able to do for us this past season, okay? We took him 10th overall, and I don't think anybody thought that we were going to get the production that we did from him in his rookie season. He steps in, has 83 catches, 1,103 yards, 4 touchdowns. He set the Jets' rookie receiving record, which was held by Keyshawn Johnson. Crazy, right? First year steps in, big impact. He's also the offensive rookie of the year as well. One of the things that I really admire about Garrett Wilson is it didn't matter who the quarterback was. He was going to go out there and give it his all. We saw it. There were so many games where it felt like everybody else was out of sync, right? Guys couldn't get open. Things just weren't functioning in certain spaces. But Garrett Wilson was on. Garrett Wilson was on. And he was not stopping. It didn't matter. Go back and watch that Dolphins game, the last game of the season where the Jets season clearly is over. Garrett Wilson could just mail it in. He could have just showed up and been like, oh, yeah, I'm going to give it this, I'm going to give it that. I'm going to go out there and give it the old college try, and then I'm going to get on up out of here because the season's over. No, he went out there and kept putting on. And we just kept going to him time after time after time again. And he was the guy that really kept us in that game. Eventually, again, we lost that. But he was the guy that really was putting on and was the guy we kept going to. And the season was over. Garrett Wilson is a dog, man. And again, you see him emerging as a leader within the locker room as well because you hear his voice constantly. In that post game, he's the guy talking. They come to him and talk about the struggles of the offense. He's the first one to say, listen, I wear that on my shoulders. The guys on the defensive side of the ball, they getting it done. We're not getting it done. And those results are not acceptable for me. I don't accept them, and nobody else in this locker room should accept them as well. Garrett Wilson's a dog, man. And he should be a Jet for years to come. That guy's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited about him. Next, I want to talk about Elijah Moore. Boy, Elijah Moore had a rough year, okay? From being pretty much invisible within the offense early in the season, after a Packers game, had 0 catches, said some stuff on Twitter, goes in to practice, goes off on Mike LaFleur after talking to him about his role within the offense. Of course, Mike LaFleur was underutilizing him, but he talks, they have a back and forth. They actually end up sending, Elijah Moore home because him and Elijah Moore have a heated exchange. Elijah Moore then goes home and requests a trade publicly and privately with the New York Jets. Of course, they didn't trade him, deactivated him for a game. But let me tell you something. After all of that was patched up, Elijah Moore had a really good game against the Bears, especially after that quarterback change. And I just kind of felt as the season went on, he was still not being utilized the way that he should. There was a lot of plays called for Braxton Berrios that I felt like should have been called for Elijah Moore. Well, now when you look at our situation, Mike LaFleur is gone. We allowed him to go seek opportunities elsewhere, right? He landed with the Rams. You got Nathaniel Hackett in the building. Our quarterback play is going to be a bit better as well because we're going, hopefully, we get either Rodgers or Carr or someone better than Zach Wilson, right? And I think that will greatly benefit Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore has a lot of untapped potential. Nathaniel Hackett, if he's the offensive coordinator we believe that he can be, Elijah Moore should absolutely have a big season next season. Because the rookie year, we all saw it. He's got it all. The route running is stellar. His hands are good. He's speedy. He can move. But if you're putting him in positions where he can't catch the football, or you're throwing him balls where he has to go up and get it like he's some 6'5" wide receiver like Mike LaFleur was doing often, and just not playing him in spots where he should be played, there's nothing he can do. And then you got bad quarterback play, like from Zach Wilson, where you go back and watch some of that tape, Elijah Moore is running around that field wide open, and Zach Wilson can't find him. I remember watching a game, I think it was the Patriots game. He came across the middle on a drag route. He was wide open. I don't know where the guy was that was even defending him. And Zach Wilson didn't even look his way. He ran to the sidelines and threw the ball. I think it was, and he threw a pick. He threw it to like 3 people. It was just insane. So I think Elijah Moore has what it takes, but he's just got to get implemented more within the offense. And he's the guy I think next year that could have a really big year for the New York Jets. So next, we're going to get into a guy that I think could end up getting cut. Corey Davis. Let me tell you something. I told y'all, I call Corey Davis all the time, and he started picking up, especially late in the season because he was available, because he was hurt yet again. Listen, I like Corey Davis a lot, but if the New York Jets cut him, it would save them $10.5 million, okay? The problem with Corey Davis is he's always hurt. In 2021, he only played 9 games with the Jets, had that hip injury, only had 492 yards. 2022, this past season, he only played 13 games. He got another injury, and then he came back. He had a knee injury. He was out for a minute. He came back, got a concussion, missed some games after that. He stays injured. He's never had over 600 yards here with the New York Jets since we signed him. Nothing, right? He hasn't had over 600 yards. Then when he's not hurt, right, he's dropping footballs. The first year he was here, he dropped so many footballs, it was insane. The New York Jets were near the top of the league in drops and a lot of the issues with him. So I could see the New York Jets cutting him. I absolutely could. Because again, with the emergence of Garrett Wilson, you could really see, Corey Davis kind of getting phased out because he don't ever play. He don't ever play, dog. He doesn't play. So I can see the New York Jets cutting him and getting rid of him. Braxton Berrios is the next guy I want to speak about as well. Here's another guy that can get cut, but I think more than likely he's going to be restructured. Now, if the New York Jets cut him, they could save $5 million. They really could. And here's a guy that in 2021 was a Pro Bowl special teamer, comes into this year, and it's like he made a lot of boneheaded plays. There's a lot of punts he let fly over his head that he should have caught that really ended up getting downed and hurt us as far as field position. There was also, a lot to be left to be desired as far as from the receiving aspect. And again, a lot of the plays that were called from Braxton Berrios, I felt like should be called for Elijah Moore because he's the younger, faster, better wide receiver. I don't get it. But Braxton Berrios is a guy that we can keep around. He does give you something on special teams, but I think they'll probably restructure his contract before they cut him. If he doesn't want to restructure, they'll probably get rid of him. But more than likely, they'll be able to restructure and keep him on the roster. Next guy I want to talk about is Denzel Mims. Man, this guy Denzel Mims, he's got it. He has got it. He's got what it takes. The physical ability is all there. The biggest problem, I guess, with Denzel Mims is the upstairs stuff. They didn't want him on the field because he didn't understand the playbook. Within Mike LaFleur's offense, he was like invisible. And I feel like maybe with the change to Nathaniel Hackett, right, as our offensive coordinator, that will change with Denzel Mims. Because Denzel Mims came into this year determined. He talked about wanting to be the New York Jets' #1 wide receiver. And when he didn't feel like he was getting what he needed, didn't feel like he was getting a look, he promptly requested a trade, privately and publicly as well. All right. Agent came out and said, hey, they want to move on from the New York Jets. So I don't know if the Jets will continue to try to possibly look for a trade partner if Denzel Mims is still interested in getting traded. But if he's not and he wants to stay with the Jets and maybe give it a shot with Nathaniel Hackett, and again, with better quarterback play, I think he's a guy that has unbelievable potential. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and Denzel Mims all on the same offense going off. I can see it. We just got to put things together offensively and maybe a change, of offensive coordinator, kind of change of look of offensive styles just a little bit, and maybe, being able to utilize Denzel Mims a bit more in a lot of his kind of natural roles that will fit him, I think would be better look for him as well. So that's something. But Denzel Mims is a guy I'm excited about as well. It's just a lot of question marks about his future here, if he still wants to be a Jet, and also just a lot of stuff about the upstairs stuff as far as the playbook and things like that. So we'll see. Now, Jeff Smith is also a guy that's a free agent. I would like to see the New York Jets keep him. He's a guy that, again, he's not a number one, he's not a number two, but he's a guy that you can put in that slot, that 4 role where you can move him around, and he's pretty effective. He's a guy that can find space. He can catch the football. He can get down. He moves well. He can move the chains, if you like. He's a very solid depth wide receiver. So I like what he brings to the table. Again, he's a restricted free agent, so we have to match an offer. But I think we'll be able to keep him. So all in all, I think the Jets wide receiver core is looking pretty solid. Maybe we add something a little bit, later in the draft or something like that. But I think the Jets wide receiver core is good. It's good. We just need better quarterback play. And hopefully Nathaniel Hackett can really push, his offensive philosophy and really get rolling. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. All right, I want to hear what you folks think about this wide receiver. What are your thoughts about possible cuts, Corey Davis? Comment down below. Let's go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.